Why does no one talk about the Portland Police Association? We hear about the Portland Police. Adam, thank you so much for writing in. We will note, actually talked about Portland's police union quite a bit, like a few days ago when a federal judge ordered the union, the city, the feds to come up with a detailed plan to implement a body camera program for officers. But to drill down on this topic, the PPA is currently in contract negotiations with the city, and they've just gone through a change in leadership. This is Sergeant Aaron Schmautz, a 17-year veteran of the Bureau and the brand new president of the Portland Police Association. He was sworn in last Tuesday, and earlier today, I got a chance to ask him a long list of questions. We will air portions of this over the next few days, starting tonight with kind of an introductory question. And a note, due to connection issues, Sergeant Schmautz offered to do this interview on his phone, which you'll notice he's holding. Okay, Sergeant Schmautz, we really appreciate your time. The first question I just want to ask you, like we just said, you've been in this role now as president of the Portland Police Association for a little more than a week. Can you just talk about, you're stepping in at an incredibly pivotal time. So maybe what is your top priority right now? Or if you have a few, what are your priorities at the moment?
We're in the middle of contract negotiations. So obviously that's a very important thing to get done. There's a lot of work to do. And I think trying to find priorities, just what can we get done, and get all the way done. If we can get a contract settled and give our members some stability and some understanding about what working here is going to look like moving forward, I think that does kind of clarify for them how we get more people in as well. And I just think kind of rebuilding support for our members is the other big thing. The last year, it almost like it became kind of the in vogue thing to be looking at police as a problem or something else. The thing that's been difficult is, two things can be true at once. You can have things that happen either in our community or in the country that are challenging and that we need to address, but also at the same time recognizing that police work is hard and that our officers here do a very good job. So I think, the tangible support when it comes down to just a financial contract, that's one thing. But also just when you have real kind of formative conversations with the public and again, understanding how our community wants to experience law enforcement, I think that you can kind of start working through that as well.
Now, as we said, we'll air more from this next week and dive deeper into why activists and why some of you have told us you just don't trust Portland police right now, like specific reasons. But tonight, I kind of wanted to shift to Schmautz's take on something really imminent, because this week, the city council started vetting the mayor's fall budget proposal, which includes a pitch to funnel about $7.8 million into public safety. And a lot of that boils down to hiring more cops, at least 200 over the next 3 years. The mayor also wants to offer signing bonuses for some, as much as $25,000. And we're showing you this chaotic video because this comes after the city last summer cut a record $15 million from PPB's budget amid the ongoing racial justice protests. So before we hear from Sergeant Schmautz, I do want to play you a soundbite from this week's city council meeting. People against the mayor's plan at that meeting said that adding more officers won't necessarily fix, in their minds, Portland's gravest problems, like the surge in shootings. They argue other factors like the pandemic and increased drug use are fueling gun violence here in Portland and nationwide.
There's a narrative that is being fostered by some in our community that if we just increase the number of police officers in our city, we will immediately solve all the gun violence problems in our city. Such thinking fails to understand that policing cannot be effective without building community trust and support, as well as addressing the root causes.
So, that in mind, here is what Sergeant Schmautz had to say about the mayor's plan. And he started, I'll note, citing a need for confidentiality on some topics amid those union contract negotiations. What do you think of the mayor's plan?
So you're going to hear me say it over and over again, and I apologize. I can't talk about specific numbers. I'm encouraged that City Council seems to have recognized the need to reinvest and fully invest in a well-staffed police bureau. Hiring bonuses or other things, all these different financials are consistent with practices around the country, and they're all ideas that are, geared towards getting more police officers to stay and to come.
Point blank, though, I have seen you quoted saying 800 to 900 officers over the next 5 years would be your goal. The mayor's talking 200 over 3 years. Is 800 to 900 feasible? Is that realistic, do you think?
No. I mean, what it would take to get that many people in, we would have to do a historic hiring binge and carry that over. We would have to have agreements with DPSST to get people through the academy faster. We would have to hugely staff and support financially our training division to get people up and going. But the reason that I'm saying that when I say that is because that is legitimately how bad our staffing has gotten. And that's, I mean, in order for us to be able to carry out the mission that we need to carry out, that is what the FBI says we should have from a staffing standpoint to support law enforcement in this community. So the reason I'm saying that is I want to make sure that as we're having real conversations about reinvesting, that it's clear to the community how far behind we are.
Again, much more from that interview with Sergeant Aaron Schmautz over the next few days here on The Story. Still ahead tonight.